Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm artist Henry Haight, and today's episode in Artist Talks is about a fellow artist I've known for several years. He's a multidisciplinary artist. He's designed sculptures, paintings, toys, you name it. He is a very hands-on individual. The thing about Finstone is that his work is diversifies in different mediums, different subject matters, as well as styles. He's, does reclaim paintbrush paintings and mosaic styles where he does portraits of great works and masterpieces to resin cast things of sharks, television, cyber dogs, you name it. And the thing I love about Finstone is that he is the typical English dandy, eccentric, flamboyant, the male peacock, and very much a gentleman. Every time I see him, I always enjoy his company. I love talking to him, and I know that you will too. One thing about this video is that I did experience some technical difficulties with this video, and essentially I first want to apologize for the quality of some of the audio, as well as the freezing, and I've got to work on it and just go through my computer and kind of check it out. I'm a techno neophyte when it comes to crap like this, so but in the end I managed to get him to sit down and share his thoughts, his processes, as well as his creativity and his likes and viewpoints on this, and I hope that you enjoyed as much as I do. And so with that, I give you the artist Finstone. Don't forget to hit that notification button and like and subscribe. Also, let me know what you think in the comments. I'd like to hear back from you guys, and thank you guys for checking in and just enjoying these videos. All right, peace out, subscribe, bye.
What's funny, bro? Got it.
How you doing, man?
Yeah, cool.
You're looking very good today.
Well, you got to bring a bit of color into life.
Yeah. So, how have you been?
Yeah, I've been all right, actually. It's an emotional ride, the old art game, isn't it?
Yeah. Just lots going on, and just I don't know. It just seems there seems to be this weird 2 steps forward, 2 steps back kind of thing that I feel that goes on, and then when you think you're gonna get uptick,
yeah, it's a bit like you get on the roller coaster, you start riding, you go high. They didn't tell you at the top there's no track.
Yeah.
So basically, you go off and you land wherever you want to land, and then you've got to put the bits back together again, and then try and go again.
How do you feel about hearing Jamie Reed passed away today?
Yeah, I was a bit. Strangely, my partner told me, and yeah, I was a bit shocked. Yeah, it was a bit of a sort of oh yeah, I don't believe that. It's yeah, we got a few Jamie Reed pieces. You see.
I've got one here. I've got the God Save the Queen, the negative silver.
Okay. Yeah,
Uh,
cool. We got Queen. We've got a few other ones as well. Neon.
yeah, no,
Nice.
yeah,
They've been in the house for years. You know what I mean? And you sort of, I didn't even know how old Jamie Reed was, or, but yeah, that's a moment, you know.
it's funny because he was quite influential to me, and I mean I imagine to a lot of people.
Yeah.
Um, and when you think, oh man, someone like like I was thinking Pee Wee Herman was influential to me. And, Pee Wee's
Yeah.
playfulness, the vivid, Sinead O'Connor. Like when learning my formative years, I was just like, fuck, all these people are going, and I guess that's a sign that you're getting older. And
Wow.
and there's
Yeah.
nothing behind them to kind of, I don't want to say take their place, but there's nothing to compare those people to, because
True.
they're so individual and they're so genuine that they
Yeah.
can't be replicated or even uh, imitated in a sense.
So,
What's up?
so, yeah.
Uh, let, let me try you through the Instagram one because I think we got a bad connection. Cool.
Yeah.
All right. Hold on.
Okay.
You're just kind of trying to make sense of it all, and I think the hopes is that you leave a really cool body of work and that you made an impact through that work. Um, but I'm referring to like Jamie Reed, Sinead O'Connor, and Pee Wee Herman. There's nothing. It seems like culture is kind of withering away, or the fun.
Yeah, it's kind of like dissolving into something else, and people are kind of forgetting about the history of a place, you know.
Yeah.
And so many are just slipping away at the moment, like especially in the British culture, important ones, and it's kind of weird. You definitely feel, oh, I'm getting older, but you try your best to keep a modern edge on what you do and keep it fresh. But the art game is another conversation.
Yeah. So what have you been busy with right now?
What I sort of do is I paint maybe a series of 10 in one style, and then I don't get bored, but I need to change. I need to keep changing pattern.
Yeah.
I can't keep. Some artists can have that pattern for years. I can't. I need to paint 10 abstracts, 10 imaginary portraits. Then I'll do 5 brush paintings made up. It keeps my balance exciting. But the art, it's been good to me, the art game. I can't say I haven't had a good time. But as you were talking about the roller coaster, it goes up, it goes down, it goes up, it goes down. But, we are the age we are, and, I'm still in it. So something must be right.
Other than doing art, I can't hold down a regular job. But the weird thing is, I do treat this like a job. Having the tattoo shop. Having the tattoo shop was one thing, and that just kind of evolved. But I fell into tattooing because I didn't know how to approach the art world, and through tattooing, the art world made its way available to me. And I was like, okay, I'd be an idiot not to jump on that train. And then,
it's like stepping stones.
Yeah.
I was designer first. Designing furniture, fiberglass chairs, the ball chair, plastic, learnt moulding, and then this became, I can make 2. Then I can make art. Then I can produce. And then I can produce sculptures. Start producing sculptures. But, you know, it's ended up with paintings and other things. But the stepping stones are, first of all, you get into a gallery in London, which is very difficult.
Yeah.
For any young person, there's queues for 2 years for a young person to get into that small gallery. That's how
But
difficult it is.
It isn't what do you call it? It isn't a marker of success because it doesn't, especially right now, because so many directors go through their like they flip their rosters so rapidly, and very few try to keep the artists and build, you know, working relationships with them. You know, well, like Paul, I've been with him for Jesus, like 14 years now, and you know, I think he's my favorite to deal with because he's honest, you know, he pays on time, you know, and sometimes he'll be like, this doesn't work out, or maybe tweak it. So I appreciate his viewpoint, you know, because you kind of want to hear feedback from a different aspect of, but then kind of build on top of their feedback on direction.
Yeah.
Do you get that at all?
Everyone's got a different experience of the way they've rooted to being an artist, but it takes even a bit more than just trying to get there. You need a certain sort of frame of mind. You know it goes up and down. Not like anything. If you've got a job, it's sort of different. But in art, it can go super high, and then it can go super low. But you know, you got to feel the waves.
Yeah. Was there ever an artwork that you saw growing up that influenced you to become an artist, or can you think of one work that you saw early on?
Yeah, Salvador Dali.
Really? You're the third artist to say that. Salvador Dali.
On the cross.
The crucifixion.
Yeah. I repainted.
Which one? The inverted one where you see.
The angle, the one with the angle, you know.
Yeah. The not the one with Gala.
No.
Yeah, no. The one where he's, you know, suspended and virtually down,
right,
like looking down at hell. That one is actually one of my favorite.
I painted that painting big, you know, as a practice. Maybe when I was 16, and I gave that painting to a church. I actually went to the church and I gave it to, you know, it was at the time it was maybe a strange thing to do, but it just felt like I want to donate this to the church, and I think they still have it, you know.
Do you ever feel that
you reminded me? Yeah.
So is there any other works or any other artists that impacted you? I can see Warhol behind you.
Oh, Warhol, yeah, massively. I mean, Warhol is a big, you know, it's these prints that he produced and the way he produced them, you know, fascinating. In fact, images are fascinating. There were real people then that he knew. You know, there's something so alive about it, which I think.
I really love the swiggle brush paint ones that you have behind you right now. They're actually quite beautiful. Oh, yeah. How long does one of those take you to do? Because I know you got to kind of you use your old brushes, the bristly, like.
Well, it's funny. I had massive brushes for years, like saved up in boxes, and I've made a lot of brush paintings. So when they kind of ran out, I went to a manufacturer and I told them that I'm a guy who sells paintbrushes, just to get wholesale super discount.
Yeah.
So I ended up buying hard bulk after that, and that's how I could continue to produce them. So.
Wow.
Because you can't use enough paintbrushes to make a lot of painting. So, you know, after making 4 or 5, it fills. But then if you want to make 100 brush paintings, you have to. Yeah. You have to do it differently.
So.
But yeah, they're very damn paintbrushes. The paintbrush paintings would be maybe 5 times the price.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I use disposable paintbrushes.
Okay.
I love the shape of a disposable paintbrush. I love the fact that it's disposable. You know, is there something when you spray it one color? There's something cheap about it, but when you spray it one color, it looks expensive. It's kind of weird, but I just like the way they cut everything about them.
But so I was going to say, what was it? What do you remember your first painting that you sold, or what was the work? How long ago was that when you first sold your first piece?
Oh, it's a good question. I'll tell you what. I think it was in the Wolf Gallery in London, actually, and it was a Van Gogh painting, and it was one of the first ones made, and we made it really big, massive, bigger than some of these. And at the time, we didn't even know if the paintbrush painting was actually going to work. So the Van Gogh with the felt hat, we produced this really big, and as a sort of, almost like a practice to see if it could work. The Wolf Gallery guy saw it, says, okay, I'll take it up. So, not a painful stepping stone, but it's a process from going low to going really high, which is dangerous, you know?
Yeah.
It's a kind of, you if your body and brain can't deal with it, it will affect you, you know, because it's like an explosion. It's like a dream coming so true, like, oh my God, this painting is now worth this amount of money, and I made that, you know, it's a process which you've got to deal with. And to stay normalized with it, you have to continue. So the roller coaster goes high, goes low, and then...
And the Telly Dogs, how many of those have you actually made in their entirety?
I have probably made about 22.
Wow.
Maybe 20, yeah, 22, roughly. But I have...
Because I remember the very first one I saw, I believe, I think it was a red-headed Telly Dog. But it was at a part when it used to be on Portobello Road.
Yeah, a park gallery.
Whatever happened to that guy?
Wow, do you know what? It's pretty funny you say that, but I spoke to him last week, and what happened is he kept doing the park gallery. He had some big shows in a big place in the West End, but they didn't work out for him. So too much money went in, nothing came out. So then he ended up going to Spain, trying to set something up there. I don't know if it worked or not, but he's not really. I don't know if he's in the art game. I'm not sure now.
It seems that, you know, it gets harder and harder to have a brick and mortar setup, especially in London or any major city, because it's just like the overheads, especially with artists. We already have so many overheads, and we need storage, and you know,
storage.
Yeah, right. Like, how much of you is a collector, and how much of you is a hoarder?
Wow, help me, hoarding. I have 1 meter by 5 meter with storage 4, another 5 by 5, another 6 by 4. I have a lot of stuff I've collected. Also, you've got to remember, if you paint a lot and
you have to store it,
sell a bit,
yeah,
you end up
with
a domino paintings of everywhere. So,
yeah.
And only recently I had shows in London where I painted new collections. I must have painted 100 pieces, imaginary portraits.
Wow.
And that went well. And I knew from the start, I'm going to paint these really quickly. 2 hours, 3 hours, boom, 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 1 a night, bang, bang. You know, 2 a night. Really sort of emotional, twisted faces, slightly Bacon-esque, but they did the job. You know what I mean? They definitely did.
Do you have any advice?
That's the last. So I'm just going to Good. It's good. It feels good to reorganize. So,
well, how long have you had your studio space right now? That one that you're in now.
So I've now got home studio. So I have studios all down one side of my house, and I have an alleyway there. So, and then the house is over there. So basically, and I got these all built because I was in a place for 16 years, paying rent to the council.
Yeah.
And it was just stupid. So this.
Are you there?
This is good.
Right. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you.
Sorry.
Yeah.
And let me ask you this: what is the worst career advice you've ever been given? Cutting to the chase.
Wait, don't do it.
Don't do it. Yeah.
No. You'll never do that. Yeah. It's like when people say, let's say you have an aim or a project, and people don't believe in you. So there's something I love about that because I feel I really need to prove certain people. It could be family, it could be a friend who just said something really negative. So, and when it does happen, they just can't understand how it happens. What makes it happen is your determination as an artist. Your belief of what you can do as a person. It's not even just for yourself, it's for others. A guy stopped me in the street today and he went, "Oh my God, are you that guy who made that chair?" So yeah. He knew, you know what I mean? He knew about that chair and he knew something, but he must have recognized something and went, "Oh my God, I can't believe it. You must be so happy you've done that in your life. I want to be this now." So it's like inspiration. You don't have to just work in a shop, get a job. You can use the talents that you've got or train yourself to learn something instead of become just like the normal people, But obviously you've got to have something inside you that is definitely burning to do something different,
Yeah. And do you ever think that with the wake of social media that it's changed the playing field for artists, definitely, to like find a wider audience. But I also think that the Instagram artist and the prices that some of these ones command, where it takes years for someone to get to a certain level, you could get that price bracket for commissions or commercial work, and then
I think there's
a lot of them don't have websites, they don't have CVs. They've never been published, but they're doing paintings for
some people have just got very good
4 or 5 figures
management, and I've done everything on my own. I'll be honest, everything, from the scratch. So, and agents have approached me before, and I want to be your agent. It doesn't work out for me. They don't know what they do. They don't know. It just doesn't work. They come from a big money angle. And you're coming from an artistic angle.
Yeah.
Of course, you make some money, but
I
sometimes they kill.
I mean, obviously, the point of a director of a gallery is to make money. But I think the thing that I like about Paul is that, he's had. I think he's just an honest businessman. Unlike two particular people we've discussed, we won't mention their names, but when we ask for like work back. And then there's radio silence, or we're just like what's happening, and for me, I think you start wondering, okay, I won't work with this person anymore. and you kind of have to cut your losses to a certain degree.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny you say that, but
there's a lot of chutes and ladders in this game. If you're going to be a career artist, I feel. Do you agree?
I 100% agree. I mean, I find that sometimes the same people want to work with you again, and I don't want to work with them because I know what they do. I know their game. I know their program. I know this everything. I mean, when you've worked with 12 galleries in London, you know what's going on. You know the system. You know the bad systems. You know the good ones. You know what to do and not what to do. It's a process you learn, but you can learn. You have to learn the hard way sometimes, but I'm still glad I grew up.
Yeah. So, do you have any work shows coming up in the future right now?
Do you know what? I don't. But
okay.
What I am thinking about doing is opening my own space, I think.
Your own gallery?
It's crossing my mind a lot. So I'm just... I know a couple of people who've done it, and they've done all right, actually.
Well, Charlie's done it. I mean, he's doing all right, Pure Evil. Yeah. I mean, but he's been at it, Jesus, like 20-some years now. And, he gave me some... I remember he went on forums, and he called me, and he gave me some really good advice about how that show works. So going in, I will always be thankful for that, because... I think it's crucial for artists to kind of help each other, give each other inside tips or trade secrets to kind of keep us in the loop.
Yeah.
And
I mean, you learn. I mean, I know people who don't know much about art, and they've set galleries up, and you learn strangely from them. They just got the power to do it. They don't even know what they're doing, but they still do it. So it's quite strange that sometimes the more artistic people end up not setting galleries up. And there's different ways and different systems, but it's definitely changed. The art market has
since social media.
Well,
even with the internet.
Art investment companies, it's a gallery to art investment is very different worlds. To understand it, it's complicated, but it's very different. So that's the people I work with, art investors. So, and I've done that for nearly 5 years, which
how long have you been showing with Paul at West Bank? If you don't mind me asking.
Sorry?
How long have you been working with Paul at West Bank?
I've known Paul for a long time, but I haven't worked en masse with him, only in a couple of shows, which were at the My Art Gallery. We did the show, put a few pieces in there. It's strangely, he was in Ladbroke Grove as well, wasn't he?
Yeah.
I've known Paul for years and only worked with him a couple of times, but maybe we'll do some stuff in the future.
So, where would you like to take your art for now? Like, do you want to be like? I mean, imagine every artist wants to be housed in a permanent collection, or like crack the Asian market. Or like follow the money trail.
I'd like to have a show in Sainsbury's.
In Sainsbury's.
I want to do something. It's almost like these galleries. I want to do it in a space where it's so common. You know what I mean? Somewhere really unusual. I'm looking for spaces at the moment and trying to come up with ideas of showing art in a new way, maybe. I think I'm getting bored of walking into a white space and looking at walls.
If you could find I was just thinking it'd be cool. The old Victorian cottage, like the really cavernous public toilets.
Yeah, yeah.
Like the one in Hyde Park. That one is massive. It's like it was at three or four rooms. But I know they've got a bunch of those closed off that you can put easily 12 pieces there and show it, and like you can have a sexhibition.
If you go to London, or go anywhere, you can find spaces to put your work. You just have the confidence to walk into a hotel, foyer. There's hundreds in London. There's a lot of space. It's a case of finding the right space for the right pieces.
Yeah.
And putting a show on, or just putting them in certain displays, windows. It depends on what you want out of it. I mean, as I said, I've done a lot in the last 15, 20 years. Right now, I'm just taking a couple of months to rearrange everything and focus on what's next.
Yeah, well, I'm trying to do that right now, just to try to navigate. I have a show here in September.
Oh yeah, cool.
And virtually that'll be my first one in 30 years here in LA.
You're in US, right? Yeah.
What's that?
So whereabouts again?
Lauren Powell Projects in Hollywood.
Hollywood.
And virtually, these are the two in the back that I'm working on to finish.
Yeah, I like the new pieces you're doing.
Thank you.
Cool.
It's weird because I'm just having to okay, do the work. You ever had that mantra, if I build it, it will come, it will happen? Do you ever think that?
Yeah.
I
mean, I think, you know what, it's funny, but the last collection I did, I was painting it for 6 years.
Yeah.
Nobody would take the work. Nobody. Even my partner was saying to me, why the hell are you painting these? I just couldn't stop painting them. At night time, I would always paint these paints.
Well, I notice you do. The thing I love about what you do is because your work is so varied. You don't do I think gallery directors especially try to pigeonhole artists to just do one thing. You do the lips.
Yeah, I know.
You do the hand grenades. No disrespect to them, but it's just like
yeah.
I think if we have a few bags of tricks in our arsenal, I think like Richard Prince and Andy Warhol started to convey that, like with piss paintings, the Rorschachs, car paintings, the biker mamas, all those, even Robert Longo, where they started those artists were. I look to them to how they start to cultivate. I would actually think of like a retrospective. And I know because especially the portraits you do, they are quite stunning because you want to look at them and watch the brushstrokes, which I think that's what great art should do, is pull you in and observe. So what do you think great art should do?
I think it should make your mind, be in shock or be happy. It's emotion. It's a bit like the new ones, the brushstrokes. It's all carefully painted. It's all really therapeutic, It should make you feel good. It should do something to you which it doesn't normally do. And that's why I want to buy that. Because I want it on my wall. I want to feel. I want to see that every day and think that thought. So, it gives a message. Even if it's a black and white, quick splash, it may be something in it for that person, which really makes them think, oh, God, that's great. It's like positivity on the walls, isn't it,
Yeah.
Even though I like quite dark stuff sometimes, but then, that's life as well. There's paintings, Francis Bacon's, and, it can bring all sorts of emotion, which I love it all. I don't like super happy paintings,
Well, do you find it easier to sell the bigger paintings or the smaller paintings? Or have you noticed, do you find which is easier to sell? Move, the bigger ones or the smaller ones?
Medium size. The one in the middle.
Yeah.
That size is easier. The bigger ones do take longer, but the person does show up. But they have a big place or a big space. They've got big walls, or they're just a very big collector. The small ones, not as much, strangely, but medium, medium and less than medium. I think it's definitely, people do want to put it on the wall. Some people don't. Some people actually just put them in storage for reselling. There's weird ways of what people do. So, yeah, good.
Oh. All right, man. So, final question. What do you think the future of art is holding?
Say that again, please, Henry.
Where do you think the future of art is going?
Cool. That's a great question.
Let me explain. Because right now there seems to be where the people talk about culture wars, where people are really sensitive about critical theory, free speech. They're like, we're starting to be edited, or having trigger warnings on certain things, which 10 years ago we never had this issue, and now you start hearing these words of like culture wars, and literary books are banned, free thinking. And you think now, like the woman who got fired for showing a picture of Statue of David in school, which was art, but people are like, this is pornography. Where do you think the future of art is headed towards, if we head down that?
Well, it's it's almost like, I just feel that abstract has an answer for everybody, because it's sometimes unexplainable, sometimes it's unoffensive. It may just be the answer to certain things where there's just a shape or a moving form, or this futuristic thing. Maybe maybe one day we won't be allowed to put portraits on the wall of people for some reason. Who knows? Yeah. There's so many rules now that I do love it, abstract.
So do you want to know? Would you prefer to have notoriety or controversiality, or be controversial or notorious?
Good question, sir. Good question. Maybe put it to me in a different way.
Okay. Would you rather be known for having a controversial work, or would you rather like to be known, like, now they talk about how the artist overshadows the body of work. Like, especially right now with Picasso, people are like, he's problematic. Yeah. But, he made a massive body of work, but everyone talks about how horribly he was. And we're in a different mindset, different time thing. Yeah. Or even Van Gogh. People could go, oh, he chopped off his ear, and yada, yada, yada. But the whole thing of like...
He sold one painting in his life. I mean, what the hell?
Yeah.
Poor man. I mean, I think today artists, to be known as an artist, okay, you get known for putting the dots on the shark, or you get known for, you painted 20,000 butterflies. Damon Hirst, for example, he could probably do anything after the things he's done, and then it's still okay. If a guy is a man who's just painting apples all his life, and then one day he paints a bear and sticks some bark on it, they might think, what is he doing? But if you're known for change, and known for, wow, what's he going to do next? What's going to happen? Because they're used to it. It takes time for someone to get used to a person changing or adapting, Yeah. And I do like that. I like change. I might paint an abstract tonight. I don't. Do you know what I mean? I don't want to really think, oh, I'm painting a dog tonight, mate. You know, I don't. You want to keep it exciting, don't you?
Wow. Finn, thank you so much, man. I owe you.
Hey.
I will be seeing. I'm back in London in October. Man. What's that?
It's the huddle.
You too, man. Look after yourself. Big love to you.
Take care, man.
All right. Later.
See you, man.